power of the magic of the StreamYard, we're going to switch speakers and welcome our next speaker, our next amazing intuitive speaker to the stage, who currently has herself muted and her speaker turned off.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Welcome to the stage, my dear friend, Paige Stevenson, Master Intuitive. I am so delighted to have you guys here. Everybody, let's give Tiff and Paige a huge round of applause and welcome them and let them know how much you appreciate them for being here, and leave them a comment and cheer them on. So welcome, Paige.
Oh my gosh. I just was listening to Tiff, and Tiff's a dear friend too. Oh, I love her energy. Oh my gosh, I'm so jacked now. Anyways, my name is Paige Stevenson. I'm a master intuitive, and what the heck does that mean? Well, that just means I've learned how to work with my intuition. The name of my company is the Intuitive Advisor. And so for today, I just wanted to talk to you exactly about that, your intuition, because there's a lot of stuff going on in our world, is there not? In a minute, I'll explain this painting to you. But for right now, let's just talk about me, because what other better subject do I know about than me? And I just want to give you a bit of history about where I came from and how did I get to where I am. I live my life in so much joy today because of the choices I've made. But let's back up and look at little Paige, the one that back in the day, little girl growing up I'm here in Canada, and I was in the province of Alberta in Calgary. And my family, I was born into a family that belonged to a certain religious group. I call them a religious cult, and it was we were not allowed to be involved with other people outside of our church. We only could socialize with our church. My mother and my father both came from large families, 8 children in each, both ironically. And what was quite interesting is 4 of the sisters married 4 of the brothers. And my mother was a twin. So 2 twins married brothers. So it's like, so all these intermingling. So we were called double cousins. It was kind of weird. And my cousins were my friends. And we were told who we could talk to, how we should dress, what we should dress, when we would eat, who would eat with us, when we could speak, what we read. We were not allowed television or radio because that would influence us too much. We would know what was going on. And oh, it's just crazy, crazy, crazy. But here's little Paige. And when I was a little one, I had cute blonde ringlets. And I didn't know that you didn't see what I saw. So I used to call them my imaginary friends. I didn't know that I was already tuned in and turned on. I didn't know that what I saw or heard, you didn't necessarily. You may have, but when you're little and your parents are thumping on the Bible and not other things, not anything wrong with the Bible, I'm not saying that, but that was their focus. And I'm over here going, Mom, can my friend, I had a name, I don't remember the name, but can my friend sit at the dinner table? So Mom would set a setting for my imaginary friend for dinner, because this is where my head was at the time. But then the preacher guy came over and had dinner with us, and he's like, what's that extra? Oh, that's for her imaginary friend. And he looks at me and he's like, who's your imaginary friend? I'm like, I don't know. She's there. And he's like, you have to stop that right now. That's against the Lord's way. I went, and my mom just went, oh my gosh. Oh, we'll stop that right away. Like my mom was very subservient because of this. It was a gong show. But what happened to me? I go into fear. I'm like, oh my God, I've disgraced. I'm not saying disgrace, but I'm a little one and I'm like, oh, I've done wrong. And so I'm in fear. And what happens? I shut everything down. Suddenly, my imaginary friend is not there because, oh, I've done against the Lord's way. And I'm in fear. And so I withdraw and I become even smaller. But through time, I don't know if you know this, but if you're tuned in and turned on, it's going to keep coming on, coming on, coming on. It eventually comes back. And now I am seeing again. I am hearing again, hearing what the average person doesn't hear. And so one day I'm walking down my hall in my home, and I was doing something in particular, and I heard, that's not for you. And I went, whoa, what? And so I'm like, there's something. Then when I was a little bit older than little one, I was at my aunt's farm and I got into an accident on the farm. We were playing with the motorcycle and I hit the fence and got injured up and all of that. And so now I'm walking through the field and I keep hearing, keep going, keep going, keep going. The cow is standing there chewing his cud, and he says, keep walking to me. And I'm like, whoa, this is all crazy stuff that's going on for me. And I'm like, what the heck? But I don't know that this isn't unusual. I'm just like, why am I being told to walk because I'm injured? And so all of these things keep piling up. And one day I heard something and I said to my friend, did you hear that? And they're like, no. And I went, you didn't hear that? That's when it started cluing in on me that I was hearing what others weren't. And it wasn't until then that I started investigating, what am I hearing? What am I seeing? Because it's not the same. And one of the other skills that I have that I was born with, and everybody is born with this. Did you hear that? Everybody is born with it, is intuition. We have an intuitive intuition knowingness. It's called claircognizance. This is your knowing. This is, you just know what you know. You don't know how you know it. You just know it. And the best way to describe your knowingness, your claircognizance, is when you know something, you don't need the evidence to say, I know that, or it's this. Like, you just come out with the answer. That's your intuitiveness. And I've been in business for over 25 years, and so many people are like, oh, but Paige, you're so good with your intuition. Well, yeah, because I use it. It's a muscle that you just have to use. That's all. And I know I make it sound simple, but it is. It really is. We just don't get in the habit. It's not a discipline that we use. See, if you started thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, what am I doing? How am I doing this? And all of those pieces, you would soon discover that you're using your intuition a lot more than you thought. A good example is when somebody says something to you. Let's say somebody invites you for dinner, okay? And so a friend phones you or texts you, however you get your messages, and says, hey, you want to come for dinner? And Fred and I are having a dinner party and we'd love for you to come. And whether you're in a relationship or not, you decide, I'm going to go. And then you check in and you get a funny feeling. Like, check in, you kind of go, should I go? And you get a, now this is where it plays a part. You get a feeling or something in your body tells you no. You might get a ping in your tummy. You might get something across your shoulders, down your back. Somehow your body talks to you and you go, oh, maybe I shouldn't. Oh, well, I really like that couple. I'm going to go. And you go anyways. And when you get there, it all's fine. And then it turns ugly because somebody decides to bring up something that they don't like to talk about, or whatever transpires, and you're like, oh, not this again. And you leave early and you get home and you're like, oh, I knew I should have listened to myself. I knew that every time I go there, they always get into it and it's terrible and blah, blah, whatever goes on. That's where the intuition played a part, but you didn't listen to it. Key, you didn't listen to it. You don't have to listen to it. You can do whatever you want, but your body is always talking to you, because as humans, we are born with this piece called free will. Yes, we have intuition. If we only had intuition and we didn't have free will, we would always make the right choice. But we have this thing called free will that it's basically our trump card to go, no, I just got an ugly feeling about going there, but I'm going anyways because I like them. And so we go, and it's a gong show. And so pay attention to what your body is saying to you. How many times have you got chills up your spine, or almost like somebody's tickling your tummy, like something is happening to your body? Or if you start rubbing your eyes, that's a clue too. What aren't you going to see? What are you going to see? Anything to do with eyes is about seeing. It's either one or the other. Either you're going to see it or not see it. Your body is your vehicle to assist you, and intuition is born in you. Near your solar plexus is where the intuition resides. It's your second brain. It's where thought happens. It's kind of weird to think about it, but it's there. So what is another area for women where we do a lot of our thinking is how it feels to us. What is it that we like or don't like? Where does it register? Most people get it in the tummy area. It's they get what they call a gut feel. That's the best way of describing it. But this intuition is your radar. And I love what Tiff said. She's brilliant. She don't you just love her? She's infectious. Like you just want to hang with her because she's always so bubbly and shiny, and not shiny in a bad way, but you just want to be around her. And it's true what she's saying about those words, because as soon as you do this, you're telling your mind something different. Pay attention to that. If you're always focusing on what I'll call the not serving, or some people call it the negative, but I call it the not serving, focus on the serving. When you're saying beautiful things, and you know this, when you're around a new baby and it's so cute, or little kittens or little puppies, and you're like, oh, oh, and you're all feeling cuddly and warm, and that beautiful feeling is how you should be feeling all the time. And if you're not, what kind of environment are you creating for yourself to bring a not serving environment? And you may be sitting there going, oh, but Paige, you can't have puppy dogs and kitty cats all around all the time. And that's true. But you can hold the thought in your head that I choose to stay happy. This is part of what I teach in my 3-day called Journey to Happy, is how do you get back to the beautifulness? Because I've had quite the journey getting out of the muck. I didn't have a good upbringing. I wasn't a strong female. I was like my mother, subservient. And today I come across as being super confident, and oh, she looks like she knows what she's talking about. Yes, I do. I'm very, very confident. But I've also got a very soft side that I have to remind myself that I am this courageous, brave female that has come through the fire unscathed. And that's who you are too. You may be in a fire right now, but I want you to know you will come through it. You will. That is why you're here. See, when we come down This is getting a bit woo, but a bit woo woo. But when we come and make the choice to come to earth, we are chosen to come down because we were chosen for our skill of being brave. We come down and we are born into the family we're born into. And you might say, why was I born into that family? And some people are like, oh, I had a beautiful childhood. And it's like the contrast is always there. And why is that? Because we are meant to see contrast. Because then we have a sense of measuring, if you want to call it. But you came into this world because you said, I can do that. I can have this human being life. We're all beings. Right now, we're a human being. And we talk to the other side, to other beings, to other entities. I just happen to talk to the angels. But think of this. If you had come down and had this experience of just living in Lotus Land, just everything was beautiful with the kittens and the puppies and ice cream cones and gluten-free and dairy-free and whatever makes your world go around so that it's all beautiful. If everything was just, oh, so wonderful, you would never know contrast. And there's some people that live like that. There's some people that live like some people live in these houses that never go outside, and they have no idea what it's like out there. They have no idea what it's like to go in a park and see other people playing. They have no idea. But you were given this life. You made the choice to come here. It's up to you to make the best you can. Somewhere I got that memo because of the horrificness, the abuse, the abandonment, the beatings, the whatever I came through. I've had all that, and I had to come to this point. Now I get to live in my joy and happiness. This is where I choose to be. Happiness is a choice. Did you know that? Happiness is a choice. Nobody else can make you happy except yourself. I can have a room full of little puppies and kittens and watch them play. But if I'm sitting there going, I hate my life. Little kittens are peeing all over and dogs are pooping. That's very easy to switch and go there. But if I'm sitting there going, oh my God, they're so cute, the fluffiness, and when they almost teeter-totter when they walk, oh my gosh, that's so cute. That's a choice. That is a choice. So think of the people in your life. I'm not going to say it's you because no, you wouldn't be like that. Think of the other people in your life who are grumpy pants. And you're just like, come on, smile. And they're like, oh. No. They're choosing not to be happy because they're hanging on to their stuff of what was or what they think it will be, instead of going, it's like taking off the veil and going, I deserve a happy life. Give it to me. Now, please understand, this does not come overnight. I get it. This is a journey. And like myself, it's been a while because I am stubborn and I like to learn things at my pace. That means slow. But I've had people go and just catapult through this, just shoot, shoot, shoot. And I'm like, whoa, how did that happen? But I would not have got any of this done if I did not have my connection to my team. As an angel channeler, this is something I went to school for. I now know that there are these other beings around me. Oops, I'm over time. Am I over time yet? Oh, shoot.
You're good. We're working on tech on the back end.
Okay. This is who I call in when I'm working with a client. I have learned who the 15 major archangels are and how can they assist me? How can they help me? And with that information, if I have a sore tummy or I'm not feeling healthy, I call in Archangel Raphael. He's our healer. If I'm a gardener and I want to go out and put in the spring bulbs or something like that, I'm going to ask Archangel Ariel to assist me. She's the one that can help the earth become richer and purify it and help bring in the right bugs to clear out the pesticides and all of the stuff that was in there before. These are the little bits that I help my clients with because I know how it helped me. I would not be in this joy and happiness if I did not have my team. I have asked Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael to stay with me 24/7. You can do the same if you want. Michael's a good business good business angel. And I can tell you, this is what brings me joy and happiness. This is why I do what I do. My soul's purpose is to help serve others to get back to their joy and happiness. And I love when I'm working with a client. I will put in the chat my contact information with my email. Please send me an email, say I'd love to chat more, and we'll carry on the conversation. Awesome. Haley, thank you so much. This was such an honor. I'm sorry that I went over a minute or two.
Actually, it worked perfectly because we were having some fun in the background from the tech. So thank you for covering us while we were working underground. It always happens according to plan. It's a beautiful thing.
Right?
Thank you so much for being a speaker today and taking this opportunity and this time to be here with us and share your message. I love what you do. Thank you so much, Paige.
Oh, thank you. I'm